Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining today's session. Today, we have a lot to talk about, and it's all about your questions. So, welcome to the Ask Us Anything webinar, where your own questions are answered. Let's get started. My name is Theo. I am part of the customer education team, and I will be the one hosting the session and answering your questions live. But I'm not alone. I'm joined by Nick, who is going to stay behind the scenes and will help you as well with your own questions. So we are aiming to answer as many questions as possible. Let's start and let's see what we have in store for you today. It's going to be a quite short session, 30 minutes, and the first few moments will be filled with a quick overview of the courses. So today we start talking about courses, but of course, the floor is yours to ask any question. So what we're going to see in the first 10 minutes, we will see a course settings overview. So we will see how to navigate and set up a course. And then we will talk about contents. We will talk about the contents and the evaluation methods that you can use. And we will see how you can adjust the completion rules so that way people will complete the course exactly as you want it. And again, the majority of this webinar will be filled with answers to the questions that you will ask us. Just remember, the webinar is recorded, so you will receive the recording once the webinar is over. And if you want to ask us your question, let's take a moment together. Locate the Q&A button, which is found at the control meetings of your screen. So let me know if you can see the Q&A button and use it to ask us any question about anything related to TalentLMS. So if you're ready, we are ready. And what I'm going to do now is share my screen real quick here. So that way we make sure that we have a quick overview of the account. So now you should be able to see my screen. And what we're looking at right now is everything from the instructor's perspective. So we're going to talk courses, right? Who creates the courses? The instructor. The instructor is the person who will create the courses, put content in the courses, evaluate the users, and of course, provide essentially the training material and the training to the learners. Let's see how we start with the settings. We can always just create a course right now from the right side here, or we can work on an existing course just to overview and change what we've done. Let's hover on an existing course. Let's click on the pencil icon there. And to access the settings of the course, jump right here, edit course. What you see is the starting of everything. You create a new course, you edit the settings. That is where you start taking decisions about the course. What the name of the course will be, just add it here. The category is something very useful that you might want to consider as a tool for the learners to identify quickly what the course is about. So you can create categories and then you can select the category that fits on that particular course. And the categories are visible in the course catalog and in the courses of the learners. So that way they will be able to quickly see what they want to get. Description, that's where you can add a few details, bit of information, if you may, about the course's content so people can get a good idea about it. And a very useful tip that many of our users do is to add the estimated time that people need to allocate so they complete the course. So I know that this is going to be a short one, 15 minutes. So I allocate the right amount of time in my calendar. So I take the training in peace. And then we have the image. You can always upload a course image of your liking. And that's another way that learners can identify the courses quickly. And that is another chance where you can use your own branding, your own colors. So that way you just give consistency to the course as long with the rest of your branding. The course codes, one of the most important settings. The course code is what will allow you to sort the courses alphabetically based on. By default, the courses are sorted alphabetically based on the name. But if you set a course code, all of the courses will be alphabetically placed based on the code. So this is ES01. If I have another course with a course code ES02, 03, 04, they will always appear one under the other because the order is based on the code. And then we're talking about time. Time is precious and we want people to be able to take training in allocated time. So we have the way to work with the duration, where you can set an expiration date, which will apply for everybody who has been assigned to the course. You have a new product launch and you want everybody to be trained until the end of June because you're launching in July. No problem. Set the expiration date here to be what you want to be the last day that the course will be available. And then anybody who has been enrolled into the course, they will have until that time to complete the course. Of course, there is a time limit as well. And the time limit is the way that you can add a number of days. If I say here 7, practically a week, you add the number of days that you want people to access the course from the day that they get enrolled. I'm going to give you an example because that is a concept that applies a lot to new hires. You don't know when you will hire somebody, right? Maybe this month, maybe next, maybe September, but you want them to take onboarding courses for 7 days. So here in all of the onboarding courses, you add 7 as a time limit. So from the time that the new hire is actually getting enrolled into the courses, that will count 7 days from them. So that way they will be able to access the course for 7 days. So the time limit will allow you to be flexible based on the day that they get enrolled. The duration is one date fits all. So that way they will be able to have access to the course until that date, no matter when they enroll. If they enroll one day before the expiration date, tough luck, they need to hurry up. And then we have certification. Certification is the way that you can provide a diploma to the users who actually complete the courses. And it works based on templates that you already have created. So we select which templates will apply here. I'm going to go for the fancy one because we're fancy. And then the duration can help you a lot when you have to reassign the courses, when you have people that need to stay always certified and recently certified, for example, for compliance. If you select here the duration to be forever, of course, they won't need to take the course anymore, right? But if you choose a couple of months, couple of years, or even custom options, I'm going to go for a year, you can tick and you can reassign the course to the user at your preferred time, but always based on the certification expiration. So imagine that somebody gets cybersecurity compliance courses and they have 1 year duration for the certificates. And then 1 week before the certificate expires, they get reassigned to that course. And then they take it again and renew the certification that they have. Update the course settings or save if that's going to be the first time you create a course. And then we're here to talk about content. What are the content types that you can provide training with? Contents can be lots of different formats. It can be just text, like a Word document or like a blog post. So you type and you format it. Web content, you can add content from the web in TalentLMS. Video, you can upload videos, you can work with YouTube, you can upload your own videos or just even record them on the spot. Audio, same goes for sound. And then presentation is one of the most popular unit types where you can upload your own presentation documents. So that way you will be able to host a PowerPoint, a PDF, anything you want to work on that format. SCORM files, very popular, interactive ways of training. The SCORM is something that you can create in your own authoring tool. And when you export the SCORM file from there, you can just upload it in TalentLMS. Just remember, we are able to support SCORM 1.2 and onwards. And then the iframe, one of my favorite ways of working with content, because that is where you can embed external pages, external resources in TalentLMS. So that's your way to bring other websites in your portal. And then we talk evaluation, the test, and the assignment, and lastly, the survey. The test is a way to evaluate the learners. You create multiple choice questions, drag and drop, fill in the gaps, lots of different types of questions in an automated, pre-graded test, and then the users will be able to answer, and based on their answers, they will know the outcome right away. The assignment is slightly different. The assignment is where you have the ability to interact with the users and give them feedback, because that is how you ask them a question, they reply by text, by video, by audio, even by screen sharing, and then they expect you to grade it and provide them feedback. So it needs a little bit more attention from the instructor. And the survey is the opposite. The learners evaluate yourself. So the survey allows you to create survey forms. And yes, we do have laggard scale options that will allow you to ask the question that everybody want to know. Is the course good enough? Would you recommend it? Was the instructor clear? That's how you gather your own feedback. And the final type of unit course that's we will actually talk about is instructor-led training. In TalentLMS, we are big advocates of blended learning. So here is where you can actually create units that will contain sessions. And the sessions are your webinars, or even in-person sessions if you want. So that is how you create blended learning along with all of the self-paced options that we saw before. And right before we start with your questions, which I can see are already flashing that button there, let's talk a little bit for the rules and path. If I go to the rules and path here, we are going to look at the way that you can complete a course, and you can complete a course exactly as you want it. You can choose users to complete the course in a sequential order of the unit. So they start from the top and they go all the way down without being able to pick and choose what they want in which order, or you can choose in any order. And that's more flexible, but again, the users will be able to pick and choose what they want to do, when they want to do it, without sticking on the order that you have determined. You can choose when the course will be completed, when all the units will be completed, or a percentage of units or specific units are completed or passed. Again, options here to try with. And what about the score? How do you know what the score will be based? It can be all tests and assignments, only the test, but also units that you choose. And you can rely on the score units score. So if you have a test in a score file and you want this to be the determining factor, you can choose that. Or ILT units as well, which can be, again, the live events that you can grade people on after they participate. But one thing that I just want to tell you about, and then we're jumping into your questions, is the learning path. Here, you have the ability to create prerequisites. So think about it. If you select any course here, and you can have more than one, of course, the users will need to complete the set of those courses before they are able to start taking this training. So you can enroll them even into this course, even into the courses that you want. But if you have learning paths here, if you have prerequisites, they need to also be part of those courses or take them from the catalog. So that way they will be able to complete them first and then start doing that course. So that's your guarantee of allowing people to take any courses, but only take them if they have completed what is necessary to be done before. I know there's going to be a lot of questions. So in this case, let me just start with this one. And I can see a question coming from John. So John is asking, you mentioned iframe, if I remember correctly. So can you add a website? How can you add a website in TalentLMS? Good question. So let me understand correctly. You want to be able to allow the users to see a website without having to click away, right? Yeah, let's do it. And for that, I'm just going to open a very simple Wikipedia page. So I'm just going to open this one. I'm going to bring it here, right? So that's a page about computers. And all I'm going to do is pretend that this is a site that you want. So I'm going to click on it, click on the link, and then copy. And now I'm going to go back to my course and add an iframe unit here. So let's click on it and let's name it website. And then the web address is where we're going to paste. So I'm going to paste that and click embed. So what you see right now is that we have that particular page inside TalentLMS. And let me show you this. I'm going to save and view. Now, the user will start from the top of the course and they will go all the way to the place that we have the unit here. And instead of clicking away and being on another tab and maybe have other 10 tabs and forgetting where they started from, they are able to access this page right here. And not only access it, I can read it, but I can click on the links and the links will work. So that way you will be able to navigate exactly as you want the page. And another benefit of that is that the reports, the user reports, will be able to just tell you how much time somebody spent from the time that they started that specific unit until the time they click complete. So that way they complete that particular unit. So not only you have everything in one place, but also you know how much time overall they were spending in that unit. That was a good start for the Q&A. Let's see if we have anything else. Right, Sonia is having a question about learning pass certificates. So Sonia is asking, if you want users to receive certificates only after the completion of certain courses, how do you make sure the certificate is issued about the last course and that the name is not only the last course? For instance, project management learning path might comprise of 5 separate courses and the certification project management is only achieved after completion of those 5 courses. Whoa, lots of details there, Sonia, but let me just rephrase so I know that we're going to answer the right question here. So you have project management that will be part of 5 courses, and you want to give a certificate only at the last course, which will have the name project manager management, but it includes all of the above courses, right? So bear with me. You don't need to have perfect. Thanks for confirming, Sonia. So you don't need to have a very special certificate for all of them. All of the needs that all of what you need to do is just create one course, which is called project management. So let's actually say that this is the course that is called project management. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna call it project management, right? So we have the course. And then you choose which certification. I'm going to choose, for example, the classic one here and update it. So now we have that course. In that last course, which will be the one producing the certificate, you're going to go to the rules and path. And from there, you're going to add the courses that you would like to have as prerequisites. Now, one of the things though that I need to note here, the courses that you add as prerequisites, if it's more than one, doesn't matter in which order people will take them. So either you add all of the rest of the 4 courses here, if you don't mind the order that the people will take them, and then they get to the last one, or for every individual course, you only add the one before that. So that way you know that project management 1 will lead to 2, to 3, to 4, to 5. The courses, project management 1, 2, 3, 4, will not have any certificate in the settings, none whatsoever. So then when they reach at number 5, which will have the prerequisites anyways, then they get the course. And since the course is called project management, then the certificate will have the name of the course. That is one thing. And the other thing, if you don't want to have a specific name of a course, which will be project management, is to be able to go as an admin or talk to your admins about it and create a unique certification template for that. So certifications, and then your admin, or if you are an admin as well, save as new and call it here, for example, project management certification, save. And then on the template itself, just remove the name of the course here. So it doesn't populate a specific course's name, and say here, project management, for example, courses, generally speaking, update, and then use that template only in that specific last course of the example that we saw before. Try it and let me know how it goes. There's another question here coming up, and I think, oh, perfect. Thank you, Sonia. So there's another question coming up here for instructor-led training. Yes, and I think that's from an anonymous user. So again, I wish I knew your name. The question says, is it possible to add 2 or more sessions in the same unit so people can choose? Yes, it is. So let me show you real quick. If we go just back as an instructor, you have the ability into your instructor-led training units to have the sessions that people will attend. So you go to add and you add an instructor-led training. I have one here, so let's work here. That's the live Q&A, for example. If I want to have 3 options, I'm going to create one for tomorrow. So click, and then let's call this option 1. Of course, you can adjust the time. That's going to be an early one. And then if that's going to be a virtual one, click on webinars, tick, and add the session. You can do the same, and you can do an option 2 the next day. So I'm going to repeat myself here. And then again, webinar, tick the box and add the session. So we have 2 of them, right? We want people to choose. So save and view. And then you have the ability to see that we now have 2 different options. So within the units, which is called live Q&A, people have either the option to choose number 1 or number 2. And then you can actually see the details of every session and the link that people will join. Don't worry, it will activate about 10 to 15 minutes before the actual session goes. The users, to complete that unit, they need to register either in one or on the second. So this is how you choose. I hope that helps. And there's another question as well about notifications. Let me check, because that's a very interesting one. Right. So I think it's Katie. Katie's asking, is there a way that I can send a reminder to notify users about the expiration of the course, no matter if it is a date or a time limit? Yes, That is a very good question. And notifications, although you as instructors definitely want to know what you notify people about, it's something that you need to set up as administrators or talk to your admin and they will do it. Let's see how to do what Katie just asked. So back as an admin, I'm going to go to the events engine. This is where we notify people about things and jump right into add notification here. And the notification will be based on an event. So the event that you want is to notify people before the course expiration. So let's see what we got here. Right, so number of hours before course expiration. Here we go. Select it. And the recipients is going to be the people that have been enrolled to the course but not completed the course. So that's the related user. And trust me, the related user is 99% of the times the correct answer because it's the learner who has been affected from that event. So the related users, how many hours? If you're going to be lenient like me, I think 72 hours, 3 days is more than enough, just in case there's a weekend included. And then we start the body. The body is the text that will go, the email that will go to the users. The first line is the subject line. So let's say, for example, heads up, the course is about to expire. And then you can start building the template. So hi, and then we can say you got 3 more days for completing the course. So which course? We're going to use those smart tags below. So here I'm going to place my cursor, click on the course name, and that will populate the course that you're talking about. So you don't have to create a lot of notifications. The system will take control and put the correct name in the fields. And we want to be more friendly, so I'm going to do the related username here. And if you're happy about it, give it a name. So it's going to be 3 days before course and create the notification, just like that. So what will happen now? You can see the notification if I expand my view here. There you have it. So now users that have been enrolled to a course that has an expiration date, 3 days before that expires, they will receive that email, and hopefully they will go ahead and complete the course. Another one for Naima, another question. My users are showing disabled after a few weeks. Why is that happening? Naima, great question. I think we're talking about deactivating users, right? So if I understand correctly, the users are not able to log in and they get a message that you don't have access. I can give you a few suggestions about why that happened, but again, that is something that we can always look further. So send us an email at trainingteam@talentlms.com so that way we can check a little bit in detail. But just a few things on top of my head. If they show disabled after a few weeks, most likely, there will be an automation that will allow people to get automatically deactivated. And again, I'm not sure if that applies to your account, so I would have to check. But what I think on top of my head is that somebody has gone to your automations panel and selected here deactivation. So maybe that's going to be number of hours after somebody completes a course, or somebody gets deactivated if an amount of hours or days have actually passed since the last time they logged in. Again, take this with a grain of salt because we need to look, first of all, if automation is something that has been available to your account and if that is the case. So send us an email. Sonia is asking another question. Thank you, Sonia, for stepping in. We are using surveys creatively. I'm curious to see. We want to know which soft skill gaps are in the company so we can assign courses from the talent library. However, how do learners see their own answers? Home user profile surveys will only list the surveys, but not the answers. So home user profile surveys, you're talking from the learner perspective, right? So I understand that you want to be able to see where people need more help when it comes to soft skills courses. So probably they're answering surveys like, did you find that course useful? Maybe you have to give us a little bit more details about it. But if I understand correctly here, the big question is, how do learners see their own answer in the surveys? So let's check it out. If I go here as a learner, let me see what I will find out if I go to the progress. The progress is the reports of their own basically progress and submissions in the system. So if I go to progress, I can see that I have the courses, certifications, badges, and timeline. So I don't have the actual server itself. So in this case, what you could potentially do is have a look at the survey reports and share them with the users, and to maybe go back as an instructor and have a look at the actual course itself. And then if you go, let me just add a survey real quick here. If I add a survey there and add a question, I just want to see if that will show up or not. So let's just do it here and save. So if I save my survey here, let me see as an instructor if I can see that reports. Go back to reports. Yes, I can see it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to switch back as a learner, and then I'm going to go back into that course and see the survey there, right? So if I go now back into my reports progress, yes, the learner cannot still see it. So let me think a little bit about it more. And as you see, I've been troubleshooting with you on the way. I know that the instructor can see that, so the instructor can really schedule or export the report for the learners. But again, let me see and come back to you afterwards with that. So Sonia, you see surveys in your tabs, right? As a learner. Let's talk about it offline so that way I can see exactly what you have in front of your eyes. So Naima is asking, can you talk a bit about how and what we can customize with gamification in TalentLMS? Yes, brilliant question, Naima. Gamification can be customized as an admin. So let me switch here as an admin for a moment, and let me go to the account settings and jump right through gamification. So here you have the ability to, first of all, switch it on or off, and that is a global setting for the entire account. And then you can customize the points. So you can choose when the points will be given. For example, I wouldn't give points for login. That's too easy, right? But then you can always just customize the way that the points are shared. For example, test completion might give them 10 points if you want. You can customize the badges. So you can choose again when the badges will actually be given. So maybe not on the test. And you can even customize the badges themselves. That's a good branding touch. So you have different sets here that you can use, and you can always click on one, upload your own, and click on the name and change the name as well. Exactly what I've done here. And further down, what you can always customize is the levels. So this is how persons will be able to upgrade when they get your desired amount of points or complete the course. And if you sell courses and you want them to get discounts based on the gamification, you can always do that and set, for example, 15% discount for purchases more than, let's say, 5,000 points. The leaderboards is where you customize what the users will be able to see and how they will be able to track their own gamification progress compared even to the users. So let's save that. And let me show you now as a learner what the deal is with gamification. So you see here that we have the points, and you can always click from there too. So click on points, and you see your own points. Don't comment on mine, please. You see your own points, and you see where you rank among the rest of the users. You do the same with the levels. Again, I'm at the end. And the same with the badges. And if you want to see your own badges, click here, and you can see your own badges. If you're curious what you will get if you go to number one, like John, click, and now you see what is in store for you if you get to number one. So the learners have the ability to see pretty much their own ranking among the rest of the people if you have enabled the leaderboard option. Lots of questions, lots of good questions. So that has been a very, very fruitful, hopefully, Q&A. So let me just remind you our email address, because I know that we will be talking with a few people afterwards. So you can always send us an email at trainingteam@talentlms.com, and we love your feedback. So we don't use surveys, we use a survey form in this case, and you can see that on the chat. So please click on the survey, just take a couple of minutes, 1 or 2 minutes the most, and let us know if that was a helpful session and what we can improve and what sessions we can bring to you in the future. Again, we're going to talk with some of you afterwards, so we follow up with your questions, and you will receive the recording of that webinar. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you, Nick, for helping behind the scenes as well. And we hope to see you in our next webinars. And to find the next webinar, go to our website. We have launched TalentLMS Academy. And again, the link is on the chat right now, talentlms.com/webinars. And that is the place where you will be able to see past sessions, and we have a lot of them, and register for the upcoming session. So Ask us anything, future webinars, getting to know, everything is there. Thanks so much again. Take care, and we hope to see you next time. Bye bye.